sheep, sheep, sheep. Now, oh. Well, hello. Mom H with Honey Hollow Homestead. And as you just saw, we've got a couple of new additions to the farm. They don't know me. They don't trust me yet. Let me see if I can get them in the picture. Here you go. Yeah, they're still quite nervous. I got them last night. So, they're both girls. Supposed to both be born this year, earlier this year. They are, I believe they're Katahdins. He had some that had Dorpers. Hey, sweethearts. I know. I just gave them a fresh bucket of water. They've got hay strewn all over the place. So, I saw them earlier. They were laying down together, chewing their cud. Yep. So I don't know what we're going to do about names because they both look the same except for one's bigger than the other. I'm a little concerned with, there's a little bit of a small lump under the jaw of the larger of the two. I did not notice that when I picked her out last night. So I'm hoping it's nothing that I need to be concerned about. They are locked in the run-in here. It's a secure place for them where they can see the horse, the chickens come and go, they can see Sheba, and they can see the goats when the goats are around. So, I've been feeding them hay. After they get used to me, I'll let them out with the boys. Yeah, we was thirsty maybe. Yeah, is that your water? Okay. Well, anyway, I don't know how well you could see that. See them, I don't know, it's backlit, so I don't know how clear it was. So we're going to look at Honey's butt instead. Honey. Yeah, this is normal time of day for her to be in here. So I've got some sheep feed. Just in case they felt like they wanted to trust me, which I didn't really expect it. Yeah. So, how'd I get them? I had put a crate in the back of my Tahoe. Unfortunately, it's not my largest crate because my largest crate has a baby hen in it. Yeah, that one, you heard the one that's very talkative. That's the larger of the two. The other one doesn't really talk that much. She was talking last night, but when she got separated from her herd mate. But anyway, so the guy I bought them from, he put them in the Tahoe for me. You know, that's the fun part's going to be getting them out of the truck and putting them where they belong. I had this all set up ready for them. I've got the crate in here that I had Maggie in for a little while I was trying to treat her wound. And so I got the one out, the larger of the two. Yeah, we're thirsty. That water must taste good. There we go. She's had a nice drink. So yeah, I got the one out. And now when you're moving a goat and you can't pick the goat up, you can like hold the two hind legs and walk them like a wheelbarrow. That didn't work with the sheep. No, it. What I discovered is if I hold one hind leg, not both, but one, um, then I can kind of get them to move and direct them. Um, there's no horns to hold on to, so um, I'm hoping I can get them to come around to me before I let them out into the pasture. So that's why I'm sitting here with a little bit of sheep feed. But I'm sure they'll come around eventually. But I mean, I just got them last night, so I don't expect miracles. And I know that the guy I bought them from, he doesn't handle his critters the same way as I do. He's a guy, you know. Um, but not saying he's rough or mean. It's just he's a guy and he holds down a regular day job. So, you know, I'm sure he doesn't have the time. There's the other one got her lips wet. Is that good water? Yeah. I really need to put a hook on that so they don't dump it again. Don't dump your water, sweetie. Yeah. So they're not too terrified of me because they're like right in that area. I put 2 flakes of hay down and they've scattered quite a bit of it. But they'll eat it. I'll give them a couple. Oh, do you see the boys out there, huh? Do you see the boys? Yeah. Once you're clear, the goats. Oh, I gotta tell you about the reaction the goats had. So anyway, yeah. So I got the one out, and closed the door real quick on the other one that was in the Tahoe. And once I discovered how to, just by taking one leg, I got it in here and put it in that crate so I could leave the gate open, and I went and got the other one. That one, the littlest one, she got away from me. Now, thankfully, the goats were right here behind the barn. They were all herded right behind the barn, okay? Thankfully, because the sheep, she just stayed with the goats, okay? A herd animal. It's like, okay, what do I do? Okay, I got a little bit of alfalfa in the feed bucket, and I called all the goats into the pen, and I had gone in about halfway, and I called them all in. And of course, because she's a herd animal, the sheep followed the goats. That was another thing I was happy to see, is that he had goats in with the sheep. So that was good. They were used to goats. He also has a livestock guardian dog, and so they're used to a dog. So that's good. I don't have to worry about that. So once I got her in the pen, I closed the gate, and I was hoping if I called the goats into here that she would follow them into here, but no, she didn't. So I got the goats out, and I got my shepherd's crook, and I just kind of gradually herded her in. Thankfully, I got the talkative one out first, and she was calling to her herd mate there, and so thankfully, I had her in the crate. She couldn't get out, and she did eventually, with me pushing. When I say pushing, I mean just applying pressure, which is my body moving cautiously in her direction, and just kind of pushing her over this way. And then her herd mate was calling to her, so she had a natural desire to be with her herd mate, someone that she knew. So I managed to get her in here, and then I closed the gate and got them some hay, and I let her herd mate out of the crate. She did not come out of the crate right away. She was nervous, which is to be understood. Okay. And now they're laying down there chewing their cud. If you can see them down there. So anyway, yeah. So I wasn't going to give them their sheep feed last night because they were under stress, and because they just got taken away from the home that they had only ever known their whole life. Okay, as short as their life has been so far. So the best thing is just water and hay to keep their rumen going. And they are relaxing. They're chilling out. Even with me sitting in here talking, they are just kind of chilling out. The fact that they're laying there chewing their cud, that's a good thing. That means they're relaxed, because if they're not relaxed, they're not going to chew their cud. So that's good. They seem to be happy, or not necessarily happy, but content. Okay, they obviously feel safe. Now at some point, I will be feeding them the sheep feed, but they're not going to get a lot. But I do give the grain so that I can bucket train the livestock. It makes life so much easier. Okay, when you're trying to maneuver the animals and take care of them, and since they don't have horns for me to grab onto, I've got to make sure they're bucket trained. That's going to be very important. Of course, hopefully I will get a working system built back here behind the barn once I get my retaining wall up. So that's going to help. It's just a lot of things going on right now, and it's just a matter of trying to work out the schedule. I've got the money, and it's just a matter of the people that are going to handle the job to be able to do the job. So I'm just waiting. They know I have the money. I'm just waiting on them to do the job. And once the retaining wall and the pole barn are built, they can concentrate on finishing the barn, which really doesn't have a whole lot to be done. I see a wasp nest I think I need to take care of. Anyway, oh, another one up there, I'll tell you. And I see yet another one. I don't want to use poison in here because the animals get fed in here. So I'll have to figure this out. See how I'm going to deal with this wasp nest, because that's 3 now, I see. Not good, not good. Maybe I can knock them down and let the chickens take care of it. Anyways, yeah. So why do I have sheep? The why is simply because I like to eat lamb. Okay? Now, if you've never eaten lamb, or you don't understand what lamb is, it's not these cute little woolly things. They're just a week or 2 old. Okay? And they kill them, and no, that's... Lamb is, depending on who you talk to and what country you're in. You're noisy. You are noisy. Lamb is anything for certain parts under a year. Some places they go as high as 2 years of age. Okay? And for me, it will be boys. Any boys that are born will be raised for meat. I will probably castrate the boys because I'm not in the process. I'm not going to be selling breeding stock. Okay, that's not the intent. So any boys that are born will probably be castrated and allowed to go with the herd, be part of the herd until they reach a certain size. When they start to become brats, and they do, then I will have them butchered. Okay? So, doing it this way is cheaper than trying to buy lamb in the grocery store. Lamb is, I've seen it as high as $25 a pound. Okay? And that's just crazy. Now, the guy that I bought these two from, I also talked to him about buying a ram lamb and having it butchered for me. Okay? And he said that he'll just save one back for me, and they don't do any butchering until September. He works at a butcher shop. Okay? They don't do any until September. I said, that's fine. That's fine. Just whenever it works into your schedule, you just let me know. And I will be talking to him further because I do intend to get a ram. Because I had to take the smaller crate, I could not get the ram yesterday. So I told him hopefully I'll be back in about a week or two to get the ram. Now, I am probably going to take that ram and trade it with my neighbor who has a young ram. So that I have a ram here that's not related to these two. And then I can just breed them until that ram gets too old. And they're probably going to be too old. So, but any girls, I may keep the girls back. We'll see. You can breed daughters to fathers for a couple of generations without any issues. And it's like I said, I'm not raising breeding stock. I'm not raising pets. I'm raising them for meat for my family, for my husband and I. Okay. They will be well treated. You've seen how I handle my goats. I do the best I can for them. They are very happy goats. They go and they can eat wherever they want to. Now, I need to get hold of the guy that does fencing, that did this fence over here for me. Because I want to get this pasture fenced so that I can let the sheep out there and the goats as well without having to let them run around, because sometimes I want them to stay closer to home. So I don't mind the free ranging, but I like to be able to control as well. Not to mention when Dizzy gets here, she's bringing 2 horses, so I need to have a secure place for the horses. If I get things set up the way I want, I hopefully will be able to run a temporary electric fence across the creek so that we can do rotational grazing. But I can't leave electric fence up on that side of the creek permanently because the deer go through it, unless I find a way of dealing with it. And I only need 1 strand for the horses. So, but we'll see. That's not right away anyway. That's down the road. My main concern is to get this main pasture fenced off properly. like I said, the one strand, right now I have one strand around it, and it works fine for honey, but of course it's not going to keep the sheep and the goats in. Sweethearts, I'm glad to see that you're chewing your cud. Yes, I am. And hopefully you get used to my voice. That was one thing about coming out here and recording with them here, is so that they would get used to my voice. And they need to learn that my voice is the good voice, and they can trust me. I don't know what they're going to think when I have to get the hoof shears out, because it kind of looked to me, I haven't examined their feet yet, but it looked like they might be a little on the long side. So that kind of depends. I'll have to take a closer look at them once they get used to me a little bit better. I don't want to rough them up or chase them around in here. I want them to come to me, and then I can gently check their feet. Now with sheep, you can kind of roll them over on their butts and do their feet that way. Sheep are a little bit different from goats. So I don't know everything about them, but I've got contact with a lot of sheep people around here that I'll know. I can find out. Like I said, I'm just a little bit concerned with that one that has the swollen jaw. Now there is a condition with goats that it's not anything serious. It usually has something to do with the way they suckle from their mother, and it generally goes away. I've had a couple that get that. Now, not really knowing if this one was still trying to suck off its mother or not, and if it is even the same way with sheep. I'll have to look into it. I'm hoping that it's nothing. I forgot to ask the guy if he vaccinates. I can ask him when I go to pick him up, when I go to get the ram. So, because it seems to me, no, Maggie was done. The boys were not done. The boys were half done. But Timmy. Oh yeah, by the way, the name of my new buck is Timmy. I decided to call him Timmy. Simple, easy. He has not been vaccinated, and so if I have to vaccinate these two, I'm pretty sure it's the same with the sheep. It's the CDT vaccine. I can do Timmy at the same time, but we'll wait and see. I don't want to buy a vial of vaccine just for one goat. So, but with 3 sheep and a goat, I might do that. Because if I remember correctly from reading the vial, the small vials, it's 10 doses in each vial. And once you puncture the seal, you finish putting out your doses, and then you have to throw that out. That's no longer going to be viable. You can't keep it. You're noisy, my dear. The chicken went over there to get a drink of water out of the bucket, and the sheep is just staring at it. Yeah, he had some colorful sheep. He had some that had Dorper in them, and you could tell, the black heads. And I said, as much as I would like that, I want white sheep because I free range. And he understood, so you can see them. I said, yep, exactly. So I have white sheep. What do you think about that noisy bird, huh? She's a noisy bird, isn't she? Something like a certain sheep. So this is definitely different than than goat feed. Seems like there's more corn in it. I'll bring a pan in, and what I'll do. Oh, you're so noisy. How many squawks do you have to make? I'm noticing that the poop is a little bit clumpy, but I see some poop here and I see some poop over here. That's to be expected because they were stressed last night, and they're still probably experiencing some stress because they're not fully used to here yet. So I'm not overly worried about it. It's just, it's not like diarrhea, but it's clumpy. Okay. Their eyes look good from a glance. Like I said, I haven't really handled them a whole lot. Just enough to get them into here. You are noisy. Bird, go away. And I'm getting quite a few chicks. Thank you. I'll be glad when I get this finished. This is going to have, this part here will be a wall. I'll probably get some sheep goat panel to put in here, but there will be a gate there, and there will be a door, a half door over here, so that I can open this up so that the goats or sheep or both can go in and out between that pasture and in here for shelter, where honey cannot get in, or any other horses. But at the same time, I want to have a gate here so that if I have to, I can use this side for horses. Okay. And with the gate here, I can just have the sheep and goats in that pasture, and they don't have to have access to here. Like, I don't have a problem with the sheep, goats being in the same pasture. Sheep, goats, and horses being in the same pasture. But I want to be able to separate them as well, because there's going to come times when I need to separate them. I think this pasture over here is too small to have sheep, goats, and horses in there at the same time. Okay, because that's how you're going to get accidents. But hopefully I can get this pasture over here, the big one, cleaned up and cleared out. I still have a few more trees I need to trim, thin out. Okay, and right now there's not a whole lot of grass out there because we haven't had a whole lot of rain. We've had a little, so we're still getting some green, but I just don't have a way of securing her right now. Eventually I will. Eventually I will. It's just a matter of getting things done. So, and one other thing I mentioned about when it comes to raising my own meat, it's easier for me to handle sheep and goats than it is a full-grown steer. Now, I still love beef, and I would love to have another steer, but I mean, cost-wise, it would be cheaper than buying meat in the stores, or even buying a partial steer off of somebody else, especially with today's prices. But I just couldn't do it. So maybe I'll change my mind later on, but right now, I think the easiest thing for me to do is stay with sheep and goats, and see how that works out. Now, hopefully, if they're not already bred, and there is a possibility because the Rams were running with them, so there is a possibility they could be bred already. I hope not, because I like to control my breeding. And if they are bred already, and if they just got bred, so we are in, this is like, we'll say mid-July, August, September, October, November, December. December wouldn't be so bad around here, but that means I would go through more hay because there's no forage for them too much to get out there and eat. They may find some, but not a whole lot. But we'll see. I prefer spring lambs. Spring kids. You know, if I can get them. January is not good necessarily. February is definitely not good. That's when we seem to have the worst weathers, in February. I like March weather-wise. However, the drawback to having lambing, kidding in March and not earlier is because prices are better early in the summer, late spring, early summer, than they are, say, this time of year. I've got my 2 boys that I was going to be selling, and 2 weeks before I felt they were ready to go, the prices dropped, and they were bringing good money. So I don't know. Part of me wants to go ahead and take them to the market because of a space issue, especially if I get that ram. Yeah, because the ram has to go in with Timmy, and I'm holding back little Mrs. Boy because I just kind of like the looks of him in there. I've got a couple of does I can breed him to, but I'm not real sure. Because if I hang on to them a little bit longer, they'll fill out a little bit more, and the price may go up. So I have to keep track on that. Hello, chicks. Hello, chicks. I'm trying to remember, Mom. Did you have just the 3? Actually, I think you had 4 and lost 1. I know I've got another one that's I've got another one up in the coop that has 4, and I think she still has the 4. And I got one hen. She had she was in the nesting box in the coop, and she hatched out 12 actually, but 2 of them didn't make it. One, it didn't look good. It wasn't even completely out of the egg yet, and it didn't look good. And that one didn't make it. And then there was another little one. It's kind of hard to say. It just didn't seem to be as vibrant as the others. And it's like, I don't know if that one's going to make it either. And it didn't. I found it dead out of the nest one morning. So that leaves, she's got 10. And then I had one with 8. She still has all her 8. That was the first one that hatched out chicks. They're still around here. I think most of them are roosters. But there's one I'm keeping even if it is a rooster, and that's a gray one. And I've got I got a couple of mothers running around here. They've got 2 or 3. I think 3 chicks. I had one mother that only had 1 chick. That's all she had, was just the one. She lost it. I had a feeling she wasn't going to be a good mother. And I've got one that I put in my little A-frame coop. She was sitting on a nest in the shed, and they had, and then she had another hen join her on the last week of it, and so there was one that hatched out, and I was going to leave it, see if any more hatched out. But then I discovered her and the chick outside of the shed running around. I said, okay, we're gonna catch them, put them in the coop. I tried putting them back in the shed first because I had to repair the coop. But then after I had it all set up and repaired, I put her and the chick in the coop, left the other hen on the nest, and so far she hatched out 2 more chicks, so now she's got 3 chicks in the coop with her. She's being the mother, and the other one is just hatching them. She's like a surrogate mom, I guess you'd call. And whatever chicks she hatches out, I'd say through today and the weekend, see how many more she hatches out. I'll put them in with her, and we'll see if she hatches any more out after that, and I'll let her keep those. But she'll have to run around with them because I only have the one A-frame coop. I'm hoping most of them hatch, and I can put them in with this mom. She's not the best mom I've ever had, but she's not the worst mom either. So sometimes you can just tell. You know, some of these hens are really, really good moms. Like the one that had the 8. She was really, really good mom. She had, I don't remember how many she had to begin with, and then some others were hatching out from she had been in the run-in here, and some other chicks were hatching out from other mothers, and I just stuck them in with her, and she accepted them all, and they're all doing great. She's been a great mom. This one down here that's got 3 chicks, she seems to be a good mom. And so I think she only lost the one, but the others she seems to be doing good. Most of the chicks are buffs, so I'm hoping we have some chocolates that are hens, because I'd like to keep all the chocolates that are hens, and I may sell some of the buffs that end up being hens. We'll see. The problem is marking them, so I'll have to figure this out. I hear the boys. You hear the boys too, huh? Yeah, they're still chewing their cud. So, well, I guess I should probably get finished up here and head on back into the house. It's been long enough on this video as it is. So, I just wanted to share with y'all that we have 2 new members on the farm. So, this is Mom H with Honey Hollow Homestead, and I will talk to y'all later.